Embassy of Sananda sees the power that comes to you through love and no longer exclude your life from this all-changing power. The energy of love brings about all the changes that you are now seeing. And you determine the degree, the effects of this process. You are the bearers of this information, which now enables you to change the world. By meeting every enmity with deep esteem, free from judgment, without anger and hatred, but exclusively through your unconditional love. Thus, the energy changes where you are, where you act on life in this way. And that, your beloved, has an effect. Inestimable and determined. Expand in love until it encompasses everything and everyone. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul and with all your thoughts. This is the most important and first commandment. The second is just as important, you should love your loved one as yourself. The whole law, including the prophets, depends on these two commandments. This is inscribed in the hearts of all people. Love for God and for others. Anchored in the soul and ready to recognize themselves now. For a long time, this truth closed to you like a treasure that remains hidden until the time has come for its elevation. One conditions the other. Through love for your Father in heaven, charity awakens and thus love for every part of creation. No one is exempt from it, and everyone is touched by your decision, the emergence of love. Today I renew this truth. Today the power by which creation is held together is ignited in your hearts. Greetings, you beloved brothers and sisters. The power of love is given to you today and experiences the limitless expansion. So far, you have not been able to implement the unconditional consequence of love. Too much constraining ideas kept you away from it. Today, however, I take you by the hand and guide you through the valley of tears, until you see the rising morning sun, the kingdom of God. Through all deceptions and fears, we now dare to exhaust love unconditionally, to fully claim it and to achieve enlightenment through it. Grab my hand, beloved, feel guided, carried and accompanied by me through this time to add the experience of all-encompassing love to your life. Expand your love, and it is I who protects your actions and thus promotes your growth. Once again I address my word to you, and again I say to you, love everything and everyone, but above all, love your enemies. Before that, you have liked to retreat until today. Because this was too much for many, too tedious for some, but simply unattainable for the majority. So your charity experienced a limitation that you have imposed on yourself. A restriction, which maintained the old world order of loveless energies. It is impossible to cross the borders, the boundaries that kept humanity in separation. The love of the enemy was essentially excluded from all the commandments that are given, because that exceeded your strength and imagination. You are hardly able to produce any corresponding actions. Now I lead you to your enemies, the inner as well as the outer. Well, the time has come for you to strip off your loveless behavior towards these parts of creation. Expect great things, for you will be led out to those encounters that will make you learn. Today you are following the path of unconditional devotion. It is too little, you beloved, if you give your love only to those who prove worthy of it. It is too little if you stop with your love from those who are hostile to you. It is too little if you link your love with conditions, too little for this time and not enough to awaken. To go beyond this horizon is now truly the requirement of time. And you will be brought into situations that serve this stretching of your consciousness. Your inner as well as the outer enemies will resort and ask you to make a decision. A new decision that takes you far beyond the previous limits. Only in this way will the horrors of your souls be healed, only in this way can peace prevail on the planet. The lack of love has so far excluded the peace of the peoples, the world peace and the unity of the human race. Your tolerance limit was reached too quickly, and often, although endowed with good intentions, you have resigned from your inner decision to change realities through love. This is now over and belongs to a bygone era. Complete awakening needs unconditional love, and only then is your nature fully suited. Today, it is important for the whole of humanity to take this step, and the beginning of this transformation has long since taken place. But you are still afraid, your behavior is still hesitant, you are still undecided and not aware of this need. The step into unconditional charity is the biggest step humanity has ever taken. So there is talk of the power of love, because that's how you change the planet. How many times have you been made aware that you can love yourself unconditionally, and that you should do the same with every consciousness that enters your life? As soon as you set aside the fear of yourself and turn the fears of your enemies into love, you change reality. A new energy expands, in and around you, and the enemies become brothers and sisters, as no one can escape this power. How small credible you were that you did not insist, neither trusted, nor lived after it. Isolated attempts caused great things, but a self-evident action from this force was not taken for a long time. Today, the conditions to which the earth and you are exposed demand this conversion, and the light of God clearly produces this need. Love your enemies as you love yourself and God. A new, expanded paradigm, and everything that will come is now striving towards this fulfillment. This reorientation of your everyday life brings the events into motion. A reorientation of great efficiency, because most conflicts are based on a lack of love. There are many things ahead of you, and your tasks are infinitely important for the earth. So that you can create a new reality. If your life is new and unconditionally oriented towards love, your being gets a new coat of paint, and your days appear like images of heaven. This requires courage and knowledge and the sincere desire to expand your ability to love. Please don't forget that I'm there and I'm going with you through this time. You are never alone. Experience the power that it reveals to you. The power that your love is able to lift everything and every state into the light. An extremely powerful state that thus unfolds, because an impotent enduring hostilities is not associated with it. Your free choice is the key to this. So you have developed into a fully conscious being, since you know about the forces of the universe. Since you draw from it and use it through your way of life. Seize the power that comes to you through love and no longer exclude your life from this all-changing power. The energy of love brings about all the changes that you are now seeing. And you determine the degree, the effects of this process. You are the bearers of this information, which now enables you to change the world. By meeting every enmity with deep appreciation, free from judgments, without anger and hatred, but exclusively through your unconditional love. Thus, the energy changes where you are, where you act on life in this way. And that, your beloved, has an effect. Inestible and determined. Expand in love until it encompasses everything and everyone. The turn of the time no longer surrenders with a minor expression of love. As a river pushes to the ocean, unstoppable and constant, so the turn of the century pushes for the fulfillment of its God-given conversion, from the coexistence of people on Mother Earth. The restraint of love, a lack of it or the anxious insistence on the usual life patterns is now not resonant, because less than anything is no longer possible. Everything, the unconditional devotion to love. You can do so many things that you don't know and are hardly aware of. And this only because you have so far failed to decipher the secret of love. Only in her completeness does she show her power, and through the unconditionality she begins to grant everything. A great knowledge that will come to you and will straighten and realign your life. Far from an imperfect feeling, an illusion, you are now saturated by the complete exploitation of your love for people. You claim this power completely, if you love it completely. Everyone is a neighbor, every God, everyone is an image of you. Every separation of the peoples dissolves as soon as the personal enmities are abandoned. Unity will only be experienced in this way, and only through love for your enemies can you grow into the creators of a new earth. This is how you claim your power. This is how you regain your nature. So you are who you are. From eternity to eternity. Love can do everything, grants everything, does everything, and is everything. So go in peace, and my loving hand will guide you through this time of great change.